Iburu, Iboya, Ibuche, everybody in Cyberland. It's your favorite Babalao. At least I hope so. More doing Leke coming at you with the sequel from the Help Me Help You with a very special Odun in mind today with a very special divinity, Ocha, coming at you. But before I jump in, I want to give some love, right? I had somebody make this shirt for me, so a lot of love to my godson and my goddaughter who got me the shirt. Thank you very much. Means a lot to me. It's funny. I know it's my punchline, but thanks. But let's jump right into it, because I know we're all busy, and I know I like to keep it short, but I like to give as much information as I can. First things first, the sign we're going to discuss today is one called Irete, Leke, with the guardian Obatala, and how they coincide so that this person can meet their destiny. So let's start off. Leke is better understood by going through a pataki. The first pataki I want you to understand is one when a woman is trying to have a child with her husband, goes to Orula. Orula does the consultation with Ifa, tells the lady that she needs to do certain things with downstairs, right? So he tells her, you need to shave your pubic hairs, we're going to do an embowl with it, you're going to have to do this koyal, all right? So the woman goes back home, tells the husband. The husband, infuriated because he thinks that it's a rouge, that the wife's cheating on him with Orula. He goes over there with machete and he's gonna go to action. Long story short, the guy gets there, he ends up falling on his machete and he dies because Orula was doing his own elbow, because Orula, like a good Babala, was constantly consulting Ifa on himself to ensure that everything's on the up and up. Just happens to be on this consultation, Orula was told to feed his Ifa in the top of an attic, kind of like a barnyard, you know, like an attic with a little stairwell. So long story short, guy tries to go up, falls down, boom, stabs himself with his own machete and dies. What is that story and what is the significance there? One, Leke has got to be very careful on what they speak. Leke has to be very careful on what he marks for a bull. Okay? In that story, it's not that Orula did something wrong, it's that he went about it the wrong way. Lekes are known for speaking and cutting with their words. Leke can do a lot of damage with just talking. So therefore they have to always make sure that they're always consulting back to Ifa. That's one. What's the second thing? Orula was doing a feeding in an attic. Lekes, what does that tell you? You should live on a second floor. If you have a ranch house, your bed should never be on the floor. If your Ifa is eating on a table and on a high place, so should you. Leke should be eating on the table always, not eating hovering. Leke should always be set down and doing things properly, carefully thinking it out before they speak. That's one pataki. The second pataki, Leke has a animal spirit. One's the dog and one's the ox. Okay? And it goes back to another pataki that talks about, hey, Lekes, you cannot do favors. You just can't. It's not in your nature. Well, it is in your nature, but now it's nature versus nurture. Okay? Ifa tells you that you have a great heart. Lekes have a great heart and they want to do good. But in Leke, because you do good, ultimately you find yourself doing bad. Not because you're doing bad, but because people are going to take advantage of that good heart that you have. You cannot do favors. It is what it is. The famous pataki with the bull and the ox. The ox takes the dog to Orula to get consulto. Orula gives him the consult, gives him the ebo. They do the ebo. The dog is walking with the ebo in his mouth, and it's heavy. And then all of a sudden, the ox is like, hey, but, I'll walk with you, and, so we can talk on the road, and I know that's heavy. Why don't you put that ebo on my head? Right on my horns. It's going to be okay. So they put it on the horns. They keep walking, talking, whatever else. The ebo is real sticky. It gets stuck to the ox's head. So then when they finally get to the destination, the ox is trying to scratch it off of his head from the tree. And he starts breaking down the tree. And somebody observes him from a distance. And they say, wow, look how strong that ox is. He would be perfect to pull me around in my cart. For doing the favor for the dog, because he was having a good heart and he just wanted to talk again, right? He wanted to chat it up. He got tied up by the human, forever to be pulling a cart or a plow, okay? And what does that mean? So now he's tied up. He's a slave. And where's the dog? Living underneath the cart, just having a good old time. So you can't do favors. Okay? That's two. Then we get to my third point. Leke is the sign. If you notice in the ox, how the ox got tied up. Leke's got to be very careful not to get tied. Lekes are very susceptible and have problems with women, relationships, maybe family. Their obligations get the best of them. Leke has to be very careful to ensure that they solidify their priorities in life, understanding what's important and where to utilize their time. Because like the ox, Lekes can work all day, all night until they burn themselves out. Like a dog, Lekes gotta be careful not to step outside of the marriage or have women thrown around. Or if you're a woman, have males, too many male intimate partners. Lekes gotta be able to find out what are the priorities and live those priorities and stabilize themselves. That is the reason why Lekes have to receive Orisha Oku. No different than the ox. And the ox being a symbolism of Orisha Oku. Lekes gotta go through with the ceremonies in order for them to reunite the pact between Leke and Orisha Oku, so that they can find their prosperity. Okay, no different than Lekes. Also gotta be careful when we talk about their legs. Okay, Lekes are workers. All right, if you're a runner, you're a hiker. Maybe you work a lot. You're a construction worker. You put in too much power on your legs. You suffer from hernias and leg problems. Be careful with Leke. Leke, because they work too much and they don't know when to stop. That's where, if your guardian is Obatala, in this case, you have to find time to decompress. You have to be careful not to run yourself rampant. You cannot solve the problems of the world as much as you want to try. A lot of times you need to sit back, prioritize, time manage, and remember not to let life pass you by. Remember, you have family. You got to take care of yourself. Make yourself worthy of everybody else's favors, but do not accept any favors either. That's another thing with Leke. Good heart, everybody's there for you. Everybody wants to help you, but because they want to help you and you accept the help, that's going to bite you in the butt. Lekes, be careful with that as well. I could talk about Leke all day. I could talk about Obatala all day and how they coincide. Alright? Lekes in Obatala is a beautiful sign, because in Leke, if done right, Leke has the power to communicate. His words can harm. His words, if not carefully used, can do bad things. But when done right, can pierce through the spirit and the soul and the ori of a person and give them the consult that they need. Lekes have that ability, the ability of speech. So with that said, I can talk all day on Leke. I love the sound of Leke. Why wouldn't I, right? So with that said, give me a like, give me a share, all right? Shoot me an email, la.regla.de.ifa@gmail.com, or shoot me a message on YouTube and I'll send you the email. I communicate a lot better through email. My wife and I are always waiting to communicate with our viewers so that we can better help you understand how to uplift this religion. If you got topics, if there's things you want to talk about, throw it out there. Shoot me an email. Hey, why don't we talk about this? With that said, Iburu, Iboya, Ibuche, everybody in Cyberland. It's your favorite Babalao. At least I hope so. Ache.